Hey everyone, welcome to the week 68 update for ICARUS. This week's update introduces performance changes and performance changes only, like we touched on in the week 67 update. So I'm not going to sit and just read off the patch notes for you for the performance changes. So if you just want to read them yourselves, I will link them in the pinned comments so you can go and check them out. But what I've decided to do for today, as there's no physical stuff to show you, run through a scenario of tests, and you can see my FPS up in the top right hand corner, where my FPS for me would usually fall and where I would usually get stutters or the micro stutters, which a lot of people are accustomed to. But let's get into it. And first of all, remember, look at my FPS in the top right hand corner, and you can be your own judgment of this if you think it's good enough or not. So I am running an RTX 3070 Ti and a Ryzen 5800X CPU and 32GB of RAM, and these are the graphical settings I'm using. Okay, so for the first test, I have all of the available fires turned on with a torch on my hip as well, inside of my build. So I've got the furnaces running, I've got the fire running, and I've got my torch on, and I'm sitting around 60 FPS or so. Okay, let's have a little run around with my new bridge build that I'm currently doing on my live streams when I'm playing ICARUS. Staying around about 60, we are still staying around about the 60 mark, 65. Now, time to do a good test of running through the forest and see if I get any glitching, hitching, or micro stutters. Honestly, there was like a slight little stutter at the start, but other than that, that felt really nice. I've now disabled the torch on my hip. Now I'm going to go to this waterfall, as this is where somewhere I have issues with a lot. This particular waterfall, for example, I get a lot of micro stutters here and a lot of like glitching. I always see noticeably more stutters here than anywhere else in the game. Like, I'm still getting the micro stutters here, as you can see. And my FPS doesn't really drop that much, to be fair, to warrant all these stutters. So hopefully this is something that can be worked on in the future. So I'm just on my way to a cave now, and my FPS has gone up quite a lot. Now, one thing I will say is, my FPS used to drop loads when I was like up against the side of a mountain, like so. But it's actually gone up significantly now, which is a direct contrast to what usually happens. So that's good. Looks absolutely fantastic. And my FPS actually went up inside of a cave. Now, obviously, everybody else's systems are different, so I only can go from my own personal experience. That is interesting that my FPS generally goes up inside the cave, but it goes down outside. People in my community mention quite often, or in the comments section, is standing next to Geysers, or Geysers lagging out their system. So let's check it out. So sitting at around 69, 70 FPS. Honestly, see no difference. It looks absolutely fine. So a couple of things though, over the past 2 days where I have been live streaming this, I've had to restart the game at about the 2-hour mark, as it felt like my memory was taking a big hit, and the game's FPS did significantly start dropping to the sub 40, 30 FPS mark. Simply restarting the game fixed that issue, and I started averaging out about 70 and 80 FPS while live streaming. Now, That is a big contrast to what I started off as I landed on the planet, where it was 110 FPS, but it's only normal for that to deteriorate as the more you build. So overall, I think I average out about 70 FPS in total while playing Icarus now, while I've been on the experimental branch and the launch of the patch today. Obviously, everyone's going to have their own experiences and opinions. I'm just giving you mine. That's all I can do. So I hope you did find this video helpful today. It's a very different patch notes video to what I'd usually put out, but when I've got nothing to show you and I can only show you my experience, I think that's better than nothing. Anyways, I hope you enjoy this patch, guys. I hope it helps you and got rid of some of the issues that you generally have with the game, within performance-wise. If not, let me know down in the comments if it hasn't helped you at all, or if it has. Anyways, make sure you drop a like on the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Take it easy, and I'll see you all on the next one.